spoke of the owner of some property on 138 was wanting to purchase some of his property, some of his land. So if that's happening with him selling pieces off to other businesses and stuff, it's like question mark comes up. What's going to happen across the street? Right now I look out and there's mobile potties sitting over there. So if it's going to be a small activity, a wedding, everything should take place inside of the house. You shouldn't have to have mobile potties. And you shouldn't have to have these big lights that sit out in front of the house, the yard. So it's questionable on whether this will remain an event center, and it's questionable on having people from the outside coming in to do public fishing. I mean, I'm out in my front yard and having someone turn around in my front yard. I had to put an alarm there because people turn around in our yards because they're missing other driveways because the traffic is coming so fast. You've got to pull in someplace. I've had my mailbox replaced 3 times since I've lived. I've been there 30 years. But the thing is the traffic is going to increase on the days that he has his events. Right now it takes me 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes I'm sitting there to get out of the driveway. So if it's a weekend or an evening, I've got to wait to get out of my driveway. We have several houses that faces this property, and the discomfort that it's going to be on the safety of people pulling up in your yard, and you're out in your yard, not knowing who that is pulling up in your yard. So I basically strongly just say no to this, and I wish I had brought the same notes I had last time in saying no to the rezoning to AR. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ravy. Anyone else that is opposed? Please sign in and state your name.
Good evening, Board. I have signed in. My name is Marcel English. I am at 330 Plantation Circle, Newton Plantation, which is directly across from the parcel in question. Let me say, here we go again. We are, myself and my mother, who is retired, is 100% against the rezoning of this residential parcel to AR. This area in North Fayette County is surrounded by a community of homes to the north, south, east, and west of the proposed AR business. These communities are well-established homes with recently a new subdivision added. By changing this 50 acres right in the middle of these communities to AR, the purpose would destroy the communities of the home. Mr. Hill wants to use this single-family residence, which at the present time no one lives in, because as the woman before mentioned, he does not live there, nor does he live in the county. At the time, he has used all of the wonderful buzzwords that have been used to state what the proposed use of the property would be, such as a wedding event facility, bed and breakfast, inn, paid fishing, etc. The rezoning would allow Mr. Hill to rent the property to third parties for whatever reason, as long as the uses are permitted to sell the property, as long as the uses to sell the property would be conditional upon the use. If he decides to sell the property, the new owners would then be able to use the property for whatever the business purposes that they have. Mr. Hill has stated when he is having events that he would be able to control the hours of use, the noise levels, the security, the traffic at any given time, and the trash on the property in front of Highway 314. When he rents his property out to a third party, he has no control, and that is the reality. So in reality, the control is impossible. This rezoning would then diminish the value of all the surrounding properties, including those of the neighbors who have worked long and hard to have their properties where they could have them to raise their families and to retire. Rezoning benefits only one entity entity, not several of the 100 homeowners in the North Fayette County area. My question to Mr. Hill is, why would you purchase a residential property knowing that you wanted to turn it into a business? If you have the disposable income or the investor backing to continue to purchase land, there are 159 counties in the state of Georgia. Please take your money and your ideas of grandeur somewhere else where the area is welcoming and zoned for the type of business you want to claim to create. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. English. Good evening, please.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Alice Jones. I live at 110 Lawson Lane, and I am on Highway 279, off 279. My statement to you all this evening is one of having remorse with an AR property that is on our street on 279, and that is the Rick Ross property, with the impact it has on our community. I don't know the size of activities or events that is being proposed by the gentleman that is addressed in this rezoning request of 1372, the address 1276 Highway 314, Fayette County. However, talking to Sheriff Babb, we have an abundance of traffic flowing in to Fayetteville, resulting from people coming from south of the city, south of the county, Clayton County, South Fulton, and surrounding areas. We can barely get in and out of our subdivision. Now, this is just facts. It's hard, and not only that, accidents have happened, even deaths resulting from people driving too fast. And I feel bad because I am one of the founders of North Fayette Community Association, which Mr. Xavier claims he's a part of. I think he may have been to one meeting, perhaps to make an appeal for this proposal. I respect him for having the leverage to acquire the property, but our association is to complement the community, to respect the people who are investors, who are stakeholders in this county, who pay taxes to reside in this county. Some are retired professionals, some are retired doctors, lawyers, and we work hard to try to resume our property as such, a quiet place to live that's comparable, that's safe, and we don't know who is coming in, as the lady just said. We don't know who the visitors would be. So with that statement alone, I leave it to you to make a decision on this rezoning request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Anyone else would like to speak? Please come forward, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Walter Metzger. I actually live directly across from the property. I reside at 1217 Highway 85. I spoke last time we were together back in August. I have no problem with the gentleman developing that property for residential. I did move to Fayetteville. I've been in Fayetteville for 4 years and a half. We bought that property. I have a 3.5 acre property directly across the street where my family resides. He's had several events there prior to this petition to change the zoning. Those two events, I could hear the music inside my house. And I heard the music inside my house the whole time. Even when I was out back behind my house. I probably have a 2 acres worth of land between he and I could still hear the sounds. The rezoning of this property to whatever he's requested will make that not just a business, but it can be a cigar bar at some point. It could be a car show at some point. It could be a wedding, a quinceañera. It can be whatever you would like it to be, and it will still have sound, and you'll still disrupt the neighborhood. That traffic flow in front of there will require some type of breakdown lane that you all would have to change. It would more than likely require you all to at some point, if you make that commercial, you'll have to turn that into a 4-lane highway, probably with a divider down the middle, which would make it very inconvenient for me to access my property or get to my home, and probably everyone else that lives in that area that drives up and down that thoroughfare. We already have a problem with traffic. I don't know if you all know that when the lights go out and when it gets dark, that's the drag strip. From 279 to 138, that's where they drag up and down every night. Because I hear all the Chargers and all the Hemi engines, because that's where they open them up at, or they open up their motorcycles. Now you couple that with the release of some type of event hall that's happening there with that traffic flow, because that traffic there in front of my house is at, I think the speed limit is at 55. Most people drive 75 and above. Now you have slower vehicles or people that have been probably consuming copious amounts of alcohol at his event hall leaving. It's a recipe for disaster. It will obviously depress the appreciation and value of all the homes in the area, because now you've turned that into a commercial property. I ask that you once again deny his request for that development. If he wants to develop it for residential, please. I'll be happy to have additional neighbors, but not for people that are flowing in and out where you're having a wedding venue or a bed and breakfast, because Fayetteville doesn't allow you to have an Airbnb. So you want to circumvent the Airbnb and say that you're a bed and breakfast. Doesn't work. But I greatly appreciate your time. Once again, I'm Walter Metzger. I live at 1217.
Thank you, Mr. Metzger. Anyone else like to come forward who's opposed to this?
My name is Tanya Conley. I live at 390 Dix Leon Drive in the Dix Leon subdivision. We are off of Old National Highway 279, Highway 279. I did not at all plan to speak today, but I did want to come up because we're located, as you guys know, to the left of the map here. And I also wanted to come up because in the last meeting there were a ton of people who spoke and a ton of points that were raised and I thought read into the record. So when Mr. England asked what was changed or what was noted, and nothing was said, I was, I guess, kind of concerned. In the last meeting, there was a lot of discussion about traffic, so I don't want to belabor that. But there was also a lot more discussion and concern about noise. For example, there were several people from my subdivision who spoke about noise that we hear. So again, we are, the house is located off of 314, and we're off 279, so we are all the way to the left of the lake. And several noise complaints were lodged from people in my neighborhood about big parties that they were having over there on multiple occasions. And that was talked about in the last meeting, and there was some discussion about, checking that out or investigating that. Also, there was two gentlemen, one in particular from the Lafayette subdivision, and when there was a discussion about the refurbishing of the lake, he talked about the fact that there have been some signs that were in his subdivision about the refurbishing of the lake and the runoff that was to be expected in his subdivision, and a diversion and an additional road. And that was something that at that time someone said that they would look into. He had cited some number that was on some sign in his subdivision that had been posted. So I guess I'm concerned and confused that if it's a representation of the same thing, have those things been remediated? Because I have no axe to grind against Mr. Hill. You know, I wish him well if he's got a good plan. But with the concerns about the development plan that were discussed in the last meeting, both from citizens as well as the questions that you guys asked that didn't seem to get an adequate answer, I guess my question is, why are we still considering it if they haven't been remediated? Or are we? So that's the biggest reason that I got up, because I know in our last HOA meeting, in fact, we talked about this exact thing. And at the time, people were trying to investigate when the next presentation or if there would be for this. And we just assumed that there wouldn't be because of that. And with the weather, I guess several people who spoke last from my subdivision aren't here. But I wanted to represent them, particularly people who heard the noise complaint and called the police about it. They weren't here. So I wanted to make sure that those, you know, couple of points, traffic, noise, the lake runoff, and the development plan. Again, my name is Tanya Conley, and I live in Dix-Leon, 390 Dix-Leon. So, yeah, all the way over there. Imagine. We hear the noise. I'll sign in.
Thank you, Ms. Conley.
Sure.
Anyone else? Please sign in, state your name. And we are running down the clock on this. Just want to make sure that everyone knows we have a minute 26.
How you doing today? My name is William Walker, and I am against this rezoning. My main concern is data centers. Once he rezones this, who knows if he's going to sell this to a big corporation? So we got to deal, we don't know the implications of data centers yet. We don't know what it does to the citizens of Fayette County. It might be air pollution. We don't know what kind of electric magnet fields that it produces. So indirect impacts to our citizens. So I am very highly against him getting rezoning for commercial, because later on we don't know what will happen. So that's all I got to say. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else? If not, Mr. Boyd, you have to come up for rebuttal.
Mr. England, I think that what happened, the reason we're back here today is the petitioner completely withdrew his request. So it wasn't a request for a table, it was a request for have it withdrawn, if I'm understanding that correctly. Under the proposed, or our request for the AR zoning, there are 22 different items that can be developed on that property under the AR. And I know that there's a lot of concern about the noise level, and didn't know if the residents that spoke knew that there's a 55 decibel limit, and I think it goes up to about 10 o'clock at night. So not just this project, but any project, you have the opportunity to call the enforcement about the noise level. One interesting thing that I found in my research on this is on the R40 residential district zoning, there are conditional uses that can be put on that property now as it exists. And one is a church or a other place of worship. Another is a private school, including but not limited to classrooms, administration, playground, housing, athletic fields, gymnasium, and stadium. there's the Catholic school, which is northeast of this property on 279 and 138 is an example of that. So if you consider that, what you can already do on this property as zoned, then this one doesn't look quite as bad. Because if you put a school there, what you could do right now is this is zoned. The school would be in session 275, 280 days a year. So you're going to have traffic every day. And if you put a church, let's say you had church typically, assuming Wednesday and Sunday, then that's 100 days a year, so that you're going to have traffic. So there's a possibility that somebody could get this property from Mr. Hill if he decides not to do anything that's already a conditional use, and he sold it, you could still do that. And the issue about the lake, obviously nothing would be done on the lake until some development had started here. Like I say, I apologize. I've only been involved in this for 10 days. I knew that that was a Category 1 lake. I have not received anything, so I can't answer any questions about the lake. But I know that it's Category 1, and by Mr. Hill's admission in his letter he wrote, or email he wrote to one of the residents, he knows, he's already got an assessment of what it's going to take to fix the property. He says over $350,000. So that will have to be done. He can't just not do that, because the Category 1 lake is categorized like that because if it fails, there would be loss of life downstream. So I know the neighborhood doesn't like this, but there are opportunities to put a church or a school there now. So we would ask that you would from the less intense zoning from R40 down to AR, so Mr. Hill can develop this property. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Question, please. Mr. Boyd, there are a couple of staff recommendations on there for A and B that the two pieces be combined. Does the petitioner have any problems?
No, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
I have no questions, Mr. Boyd.
Very good.
No questions from me.
I'll entertain a motion.
Would you like
Mr.
to?
Chairman,
I'm sorry.
Last time we went ahead and had both hearings. Would you like to have the second hearing and then vote on the two cases after the second hearing?
We can do that.
Sure.
Sure.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So the second hearing would be the consideration of petition 1372-25B. It's this same property. This is simply for B is for the smaller tract. I've already read the conditions into the record, which would be to combine the parcels, which would solve the problem of if it were zoned AR, that 4.7 acres would not meet the requirement, but the combination would resolve that issue.
Okay.
very good.
Mr. Chairman.
Boy, we gotta have a hearing.
Yeah,
You
so
gotta
we
have
gotta
a
have,
hearing.
you're gonna have
So
another
let's-
hearing?
Mr.
All right.
Boyd.
Yes.
You get a two for tonight.
I believe everything we just discussed would also apply to this piece of property, and if we were to receive a favorable vote from this commission, the Board of Commissioners, that we would proceed to have the plat combined to eliminate the two tracts to make it one. Thank you.
Very good. Again, I ask for anyone in support of this petition. Anyone opposed? I'll bring it back to the board. Up. There's two petitions. One is, and the parcels are joined. So it would be the changing of, the rezoning of both of those parcels.
So the one that we're looking at now is actually the parcel that has the house on it,
Which is the smaller one.
right? But it's being, basically, we're considering both at the same time because it's one applicant trying to get this done.
Yes,
If you could
yes.
just-
Yes.
You don't,
Allison, what do you think? But it doesn't have to be in the same order, just come on down.
we'll,
You have
now,
a speaker from all of them.
we'll start from last to first.
Basically, it's a community. And putting a business in the community, it destroys the fabric of the community. It increases the traffic in the community. It increases the safety will be affected in the community by putting a business on that community. He mentioned a church or a school. Those are community. And they're not affecting us on Saturdays. They aren't affecting us on Sundays because most of us are in church on Sunday anyway. They are during the school time. We are at work. So putting a business of sort of entertainment where it's going to affect us at night during our sleeping hours, during our dinner hours. And as my neighbor said, the blue lights are running right now on 314 because of the traffic. There's more sirens going past there. So we're wanting to, with this rezoning, we're introducing more and putting more pressure on our police force because there's going to be more traffic, more people drinking alcohol. We've got 5 liquor stores, so that means there's more alcohol going to be served at this facility, and there's more danger on the road.
Thank you.
I think you're good.
Thank you, Maria.
Again, my name is Tanya Conley. I live at 390 Dix Leon. I'd like to again cite my concerns with this for the quality of life issues that I just discussed for the other parcel. I think that there's sorely lacking a development plan or a plan of knowing what's going to happen with this land. I think that the noise, which seems to be largely generated from the smaller parcel, the house on the smaller parcel, with no regard to the noise ordinance because it happens multiple times. It has happened multiple times at multiple hours and after hours that are already posted, and it's continued to happen when there are large gatherings there. And I also agree with my neighbors in that the traffic has been a concern and will be a concern, but that falls back again to the development plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Conley? No. Ms. English? Hello.
Yet again. I just want, again, Marcel English, 330 Plantation Circle, Newton Plantation directly across the street, just for putting it back on the record, strongly opposed, especially with majority of the noise is going to come from the actual home that is right there on 314, but definitely wanted to put it back in on the record that strongly oppose the rezoning of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening again. Walter Metzger. Obviously, I clearly stated my disdain or not want of the rezoning of this property to AR. I ask that you vote in the same manner that you voted back in August, denying his request to rezone both parcels or anything in that neighborhood or that area. I ask that he continues with his development plan on developing it as residential. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Metzger. Anyone else would like to speak? Mr. Boyd, you do have time for rebuttal?
I'd just like to reemphasize that under the zone as it exists now, you can put a church, and you can put a school, and that would also increase the traffic. So we can't do anything about the traffic. The state highways and the Fayette County road system have to handle that. But other than that, we just ask that you rezone it as submitted. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Boyd? Any questions?
No, Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
I will accept the motion.
We're voting separately on each petition.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to deny petition number 137225A.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor of, say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a second motion to deny petition number 1372-25B.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Both petitions are denied. Thank you very much, folks. Moving on.
If y'all are ready to leave, we would just ask that you not stop right outside the door to chat, because it makes it difficult for us to hear the rest of the cases. Thank you. All right. The next item on the agenda is consideration of an amendment to Chapter 110 zoning ordinance regarding Article 7, Zoning Board of Appeals, Section 110-241, public hearing. You may remember about 2 years ago or so, the state changed our requirements for public hearing for variances, and they made our advertising requirements that the ads had to be run 30 to 45 days before a variance could be heard. This is now taking that advertising requirement back to what it was previously, and the variance advertisements can now be run 15 to 45 days, which it helps staff out because it just gives us a broader window in which to fit those advertisements in and to fit the cases on the agendas. It was really pushing some of the variance requests quite a ways out from the point at which they came in.
So, question, Mr. Chairman. No, sorry, please. The state changed their rule?
So the certain things that we do, we have to meet the state zoning procedure law.
True.
And the advertisement for variances and for rezonings is one of those things, and they both have they fall under different sections of OCGA. So this is simply to bring us back into alignment with a recent amendment to the state code.
Okay, thank you.
Since this is under our public hearing, anyone in favor of this that would like to speak?
It's going to be hotly contested, you can tell.
Anyone opposed that would like to speak? I will bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend approval of this requested action by staff. I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item for consideration tonight will be our item number 4, which is consideration of petition 1368-25. Stuart Reagan and Laura K. Reagan owners are requesting to rezone 8.053 acres from R70 single-family residential to AR agricultural residential. The property is located in land lot 75 of the 7th District and fronts on Sun Road. The staff assessment and recommendation, the lot is a legal lot of record and meets or exceeds all of the requirements of the AR zoning district, as does the existing house. The future land use map designates this area as rural residential 2, which has a 2-acre minimum parcel size. Since AR is a less intense, lower density zoning with a 5-acre parcel size, the request to rezone to AR is considered appropriate and consistent with the future land use map and comprehensive plan. Staff recommends approval of the request to rezone to AR. Pardon? Oh, one sec. It's okay. So this is located in northwest Fayette County. You can see the property around there is a mix of R70, which was a result of a blanket zoning back in the 1970s, some R40, and then a considerable area of AR in the vicinity as well. This is the future land use map, which designates these areas as being eligible for rural residential 2 and low-density residential. The property is not affected by any specific environmental factors. And this is the area. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So that's all staff has at the moment.
Thank you, Deborah. Hi, please state your name.
And I'm Laura Reagan at 183 Sun Road, and I really just want more chickens. Bottom line, we have 2 horses, and so we initially requested a variance to build a run-in shelter in each of our pastures. This is now fenced. We bought it a year ago. So it was about sheltering our 2 horses and having more than 12 chickens. So that's our big plan.
If I could explain a quirk of the ordinance, it allows people in the R zoning to have horses, but you have to have 10 acres for staff to be able to permit a horse shelter. I don't know why it's written that way, but it is. So rezoning this to AR would enable them to be able to build the horse shelter.
A 12 by 12 structure, 3-sided, in each of our front pastures. And that's it.
I thought it was going to be a nice chicken run other than that.
Well, you know, we got to save our money, but
Okay.
Very good,
that's
Ms.
a
Reagan.
big plan.
Thank you very much, and we'll just hold you for any rebuttal, if there is any. Anyone in support of this petition? If you'd like to speak, you can come up to the mic. That is okay. Anyone? Duly noted. Anyone opposed to this? I will bring it back to the board. Any questions? Or entertain a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to recommend approval of this petition number 1368-25.
I second that motion.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Petition's approved.
Thank you.
The next item for consideration, item number 5, consideration, and item number 6, this is consideration of petition number 1369-25A and 25B. These are 2 adjacent parcels. The McCotter Family Trust owner is requesting to rezone 3.0 acres of parcel number 0433049 from R45 to AR. Property is located in Land Lot 83 of the 4th District and fronts on Fletcher Ford Road. Also, 1369-25B, the McCotter Family Trust owner requesting to zone 3.00 acres of parcel 0433051 from R45 to AR. This is also Land Lot 183 of the 4th District and fronts on Fletcher Ford Road. This is a similar situation. They have a horse. They would like to be able to build a shelter for the horse. Staff recommendation, as defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan, Future Land Use Plan, agricultural residential is designated for this area, so the request for AR zoning district is appropriate. In their current configuration, neither of these parcels meets the minimum lot size for AR, therefore conditions are recommended for each petition to ensure that the 2 lots are combined, which will resolve that issue. So for 1369-25A, based on staff analysis, staff recommends conditional approval for the zoning of AR subject to the following condition. 1, all parcels that are subject of this petition petition shall be combined by a recorded final plat within 180 days of the approval of the petition or prior to the submittal of a building permit, whichever comes first. And for 1369-25B, staff recommends conditional approval of the request, subject to the following condition. 1, all parcels that are subject of this petition shall be combined by a recorded plat within 180 days of the approval of the petition or prior to the submittal of a site development plan. That should say building permit, my apology. It should read the same language as the first one, whichever comes first.
Very good. Good evening, please state your name.
Tate McCotter, 229 Fletcher Ford Road.
Very good, Ms. McCotter.
I guess I could go on record and say I love chickens too, but we were gifted by our sweet neighbor a horse that she couldn't take care of after her husband passed away, and we're trying to shelter as well. And I am an animal guy, but not just chickens. I love horses, and I love my mini cow back. So if we could get a barn, that would be great. So that's the whole reason why we're doing this.
Very good. Thank you.
Do you have any problems with the conditions about combining the parcels A and parcels B?
Not a problem at all. Yeah, in fact, we knew that they were separate, but
Right, you had to do it.
we had no idea that we weren't zone AR when we bought it. We're kind of new to Fayette County, so once we did the homework, we're trying to do everything right on this, so, yep, whatever we need to do.
Very good, Ms.
I forgot to
Vergara.
show the maps.
We'll reserve you some time for rebuttal if there is any. So for the first petition, is there anyone that would like to speak in support of this? Anyone who would like to speak that is opposed to this petition? All right. We'll go to the next public hearing. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to bring it back to the board if
Yeah,
there's
go
any
ahead and vote.
questions.
Yeah, we can vote to that. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend approval with the recommended condition of petition number 1369-25A.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. So 1369-25B is a request to rezone from R45 to AR. This is the adjacent parcel to the one that you just voted on. You can see here that these are completely surrounded by AR. And again, same circumstances, same owner.
Mr. Mercado, would you like to speak again? Very good. Anyone like to speak in support? Anyone opposed? And then we'll bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend approval with conditions of petition number 1369-25B.
I second that motion.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The petitions are approved.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So new item number 7 is consideration of petition 1370-25. Gene Allen Living Trust, Jerome Allen, power of attorney, is requesting to rezone 6.0 acres of parcel number 0448013 from AR agricultural residential to R80 single family residential. The property is located in land lot 249 of the 4th district and fronts on Antioch Road. Staff assessment and recommendation: the lot is a legal lot of record and meets or exceeds the requirements of the AR zoning district. The future land use map designates this area as rural residential 3, which has a 3-acre minimum parcel size. So the request to rezone to R80, which also has a 3-acre minimum parcel size, is consistent with the future land use map and the comprehensive plan. The existing house on the parcel does not meet the dimensional requirements for R80 for building setbacks, nor the minimum floor area for R80. The minimum side yard setback in R80 zoning district is 30 feet, and the house is 21.88 feet from the side property line on the north side. The minimum floor area requirement in the R80 zoning district is 2,500 square feet heated, and the house is 1,724 square feet in area. However, the existing house is a legal non-conforming structure. Therefore, staff recommends conditional approval of the request to rezone from AR to R80, subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant shall obtain a variance to the minimum floor area requirement in R80 or make appropriate modifications to the house within 180 calendar days or before applying for any final plats or permits, whichever comes first. 2, the applicant shall obtain a variance to the side yard setback requirement in R80 or make appropriate modifications to the house within 180 calendar days or before applying for any final plats or permits, whichever comes first. This is located on Antioch Road. Let me get down to the maps right quick. Oops. And just northwest of Woolsey. It's here. You can see that there's a variety of some larger lot residential zoning in the area. This is also adjacent to this parcel, which was rezoned about a year ago to R80, which is the same zoning that this property is asking for. This is the future land use map, which shows that it's rural residential 3, which is consistent with the R80 request. And this is the environmental map. The property is not impacted by any significant environmental features. And here's an aerial photograph with the topography. You can see the frontage on Antioch Road. And then this area to the north and east and south is what you saw earlier. It's already zoned R80. That's all we have at the moment.
Very good, thank you. Please state your name.
I'm Jerome Allen, 317 Old Greenville Road is where I reside. The property, the house was built by my father years ago. Everything around it was AR, and now that they've rezoned a bunch of it R80, I'd like to get that in compliance with what is R80 now.
Okay. Just have a seat, and we'll call you up if there's any rebuttal. Anyone would like to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone like to speak in opposition to it? I'll bring it back to the board for questions for Mr. Allen or for a motion.
Sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, if I may. Sir, there were some conditions that were put on here by staff. You familiar with the conditions they put on there? Some
Yes,
limitations
yes.
they're putting on. Do you have any problems with those?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Is this a home you're going to live in yourself, or is it you're going to sell it? What's the?
No, we have family that's going to live in it.
Okay. You're doing this for family?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve 1370-25.
I second that motion.
With conditions?
With the express conditions by staff.
I'll second that motion with conditions.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Petition's approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8 is consideration of petition 1371-25, CK138 LLC. Owners requesting to rezone 15.733 acres from R40 Single Family Residential to CH Highway Commercial for future office development. Property is located in Land Lot 198 of the 13th District and fronts on Highway 138. As defined in the Fayette County Comprehensive Plan, general business use is designated for this area. However, because the property is immediately adjacent to CH, some properties and uses in fronts on 138, staff recommends approval of the request for zoning of highway commercial. It's a legal lot of record. It's located in the very northernmost part of Fayette County on Highway 138. You can see that it is adjacent to other CH property and general business property to the west. This was what had been going to be like a movie studio development that has not been realized. And then here is the subject property. And you'll notice that the future land use map does not line up exactly with the parcel lines, and that's because the land use map is a guide. So it's not going to always line up exactly with parcel lines. But in general, we allow commercial up here and some office use down below that. So there is already some commercial up in this area, as well as the general business, which is a variety of commercial uses. It's just a little bit different from highway commercial. The property has a little bit of some environmental features down on the southern tip of it. And then here is the aerial view with topography. So this is adjacent to property that's already zoned CH and developed with some self-storage units and some other business up toward the front. That's all we have.
Very good, thank you.
Thank
Hi.
you. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ellen Smith. I'm with the law firm of Parker Poe, and I have the pleasure of representing the applicant this evening. And I came dressed according to your Christmas music that's playing outside. So I really appreciate the opportunity to match my attire with the exterior sound. I did have a just very short PowerPoint. I don't know, Maria, if you could put it up. And I won't take much of your time. Just to give you a little bit of background with respect to this property. The property is about 15.73 acres, currently unimproved. It was part of a larger parcel, 22 acres, that the applicant acquired in 2021. And they applied for and have developed the roughly 7.27 acres that is next door with self-storage facility after coming to the county and working with staff to obtain text amendments to the zoning ordinance, again in 2021, to allow for a mix of type of self-storage facility to be located in certain zoning districts, along with architectural standards and design controls. This project, the existing project, neighboring project on the 7 acres next door, is 94% leased, and it opened and got a CO in September of 2023, so a little over 2 years old. And the applicant has held the balance of the property to see how things are going. This is the third, this neighboring property is the third self-storage facility that this same applicant has brought to Fayette County. All of them are doing roughly the same numbers, and so this is an opportunity to develop the sort of backside of this adjacent property with additional self-storage and have the front for that general business. And if you don't, is there a clicker or, okay, great. So this just summarizes what Deborah's already presented to you and what's in the staff report. The staff does recommend approval. This application is coming to you without any requested variances, so we'll meet all of the design controls, all of the ordinance requirements that are applicable to self-storage facilities. And I will just note, the staff recommends approval. In the staff report, it says that we're proposing office purposes. I think that's just a typo and a hangover. So just to clarify, we're talking about additional self-storage buildings, 4 additional buildings with some RV parking with a commercial building in the front to sort of shield that from the highway view so that you really don't see those additional self-storage facilities or buildings. And if you don't mind shifting to the next. This is just a rendering of what we are proposing on this roughly 15 acres so that you can get an idea. It would, unlike several of the other applications that you've heard tonight, there would not be any combination plat required or needed. The existing self-storage facility, or sort of phase 1, would stay on its own 7.27 acres. This would be and have access from the highway for its own for the own commercial and back self-storage facility. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have and reserve the rest of my time, and appreciate your consideration of this application. Thank you.
Ms. Smith? Anyone like to speak in support of this petition?
So, I have a photo
This is Chris Pahalik with the applicant, and I'm sorry, I should have introduced him.
Yeah, sir, please sign in and say your name.
I'm signing him in.
This is a teeny bit misleading in the sense that we're showing an aerial photo, but what I'm showing, okay, so on the bottom right, this again, that photo is the same exact photo as right here. But what I want to show is that when you're on Highway 138, you cannot see those buildings behind it. All you can see is the brick building in front with the landscape. So I didn't want you to think that, and that's going to be the same plan for next door is we will sell to a retail user, so hopefully we'll have a retail use, whether it's a restaurant or something else. And then again, you won't be able to see our addition.
Very good. And just for the record, sir, state your name.
Chris Pahalik.
Very good, thank you. Would anyone like to speak in opposition to this petition? I'll bring it back to the board for questions.
I have one question.
Please.
Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
is there an existing storage facility already developed there?
On the property that's adjacent, so originally this was 22 acres. The parent tract, 7 and change acres is already developed as a self-storage facility.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You don't own that?
Yes, we do.
You own that too? Okay.
Same applicant, same owner, bought the entirety of the 22 acres in 2021.
Okay.
We just rezoned the first 7.5 in 2021 and are coming back before you today for the balance.
Thank you.
If I can interrupt, the photo at the top left, that exists right now today. That is actually what's there.
Okay.
Same with this bottom photo is the front of that big building.
Okay.
So this actually is.
I'm clear. I'm clear.
Will the two sites be conjoined? Will they have shared circulation?
Yes, so,
Speaking to mine.
and the way we would use the same curb cut to
Sir,
come in.
stand behind the podium, thank you.
Sorry. We would use the same curb cut to come into the property. And so if you look to the top left, there's a gate, and you can only get to the back with your access code. So we would develop the back of this adjacent property by allowing our customers to come off that gated road.
So you
in other
basically
words-
almost would just mirror this.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Onto
right.
the other
Yeah, it
side.
would just mirror this.
And it's shown in the site plan that's attached both to the the staff report and the application.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, that's
Oh, look at that.
that's great. Thank you.
I've got some very bad cheese.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Your detention for your current facility is shown there on the bottom right.
Yes.
Is that detention size largely enough to handle the additional runoff from this site?
So it's not, we haven't studied that by the civil engineer, so the idea is either to enlarge that pond or to build a separate pond back in the back here.
Behind the RV parking there?
Yeah, yeah.
Is what you're showing there the limits of your kind of proposed disturbance? That sort of dashed blue line at the bottom?
Yes, yes. And there's additional land to the south as
Right.
well that we don't have any plans for as of this time,
Okay.
so.
Well, I think there's a lake, a small lake, I think, back there. This land is probably going to drop off and get a little difficult to work with.
You're right, you're exactly right.
Anyway.
There is a tiny bit of wetland at the back,
Yeah.
you're right, and it does go to the lake, you're right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
If not, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve petition number 1371-25.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Petition's approved, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is item number 9, consideration of petition 1373-25. Kyle D. Weishar and Laura S. Weishar, owners, are requesting to rezone 7.745 acres from AR agricultural residential single family to R78 single family residential. Property is located in Land Lot 26 of the 5th District and fronts on Herb Road. So the lot is a legal non-conforming lot and meets or exceeds all of the requirements of the R78 zoning district. The future land use map designates this area as rural residential 2, which has a 2-acre minimum parcel size. So the request to rezone to R78 is consistent with the future land use map and the comprehensive plan. At 4,161 square feet, the existing house of the parcel does meet or exceed the dimensional requirements for R78 minimum floor area, and it meets all the building setback requirements for R78. Staff recommends conditional approval of the request to rezone from AR to R78, subject to the following condition. 1, the owner or developer shall dedicate land to Fayette County as needed to provide a minimum 50-foot right-of-way as measured from the existing center line of Hart Road for the full width of the parcel. Submittal of warranty deed and legal descriptions for said right-of-way dedications shall be provided to the county within 90 days of the approval of the rezoning request or prior to the submittal of a permit application, whichever comes first. So give me just 1 second. I'll pull the maps up. It's located in Central Fayette County, a little bit north of Woolsey. And it's here. You can see it's a slightly unusual partial shape. Most of the surrounding property is AR, and then you've got R40, but it does, the future land use map does designate this entire area as rural residential 2, which is why staff considers the request to rezone to R78 to be acceptable. There is a small creek at the front of the property, and there's the aerial. So the house sits here. Rezoning this also to R78 will also resolve the non-conforming issues related to the property configuration. So that's all.
Very good, thank you. All right, please state your name.
Hi, I'm Laura Weissar, and I've just watched everyone do this, and I know the rules. Okay. So I'm Kyle Weissar's wife. He's like this close to making it here. He's been coming from North Atlanta. But basically, he and I have lived here for 5 years, and in the 5 years, we've had 2 children. We love our neighbors. We love living off our road. We actually had the neighbor write a letter for us, if y'all want to look at it, just saying that they're cool with it. My husband, with the new 2 girls in the house, our 2 daughters, he's going to move his tool shop to the backyard, and we're going to take over the house. No, but he just wants to do yes, thank you. So he just wants to build a shop in the backyard, and I think this satisfies all the conditions for what he wanted. We do agree to do the easement for the county.
Right-of-way dedication. Yeah, I did
Yes.
speak with him about that, yes.
So he agrees to that, and I think that covers it. We just wanted to rezone it so that it's easy, to understand like what we own in the property, what the lines are, everything's conforming. Make it a little more perfect. Well, I want that basement. So I'm just kidding.
Okay, all right, great. So Debbie, just kind of a weird question. Why is this needed? Why is the zoning needed?
Yes.
You mentioned there were some non-conforming issues that this rezoning would.
So the house is old enough and the parcel configuration is old enough that it met the criteria to be considered non-conforming, but it doesn't meet the lot width, that building line criteria for AR. So they could apply for a variance to that. But
Building
applying,
the accessory structure is triggering the.
yes.
Okay, that was just curious.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
But this is a cleaner solution, and this also is acceptable per the zoning
Right.
and land use.
It's the shortest distance between
Yeah.
points. Okay.
Okay.
All right, gotcha.
Very good.
Thank you.
Again, it's a public hearing, so anyone in support of this petition?
Tons of people.
Anyone opposed to this petition? I will bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we recommend approval of petition number 1373-25 so that this gentleman can build his workshop.
With
I'll
conditions.
second
With
that.
conditions.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
With conditions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Petition is approved. Thank you very much.
All right. We have one final item, which is to consider and approve the Fayette County Planning Commission 2026 calendar. So these are our recommended dates based on looking at holidays and some previous conversation. The January and the July meetings would be moved to the second Thursday of their respective months due to holiday schedules. I do have a full 2026 calendar if you need to take a look at that. But these are the proposed dates for 2026 meetings.
What day is the 15th?
Of January? It is Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
They're all Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so we need a vote to recommend acceptance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote to accept the 2026 calendar of meetings.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. We do not have any other items to present to you tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Signatures.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
lots of signatures.
John's last meeting.
I shall, this is